their season is over as far as I'm concerned in terms of what the expectations were, Super Bowl.
Yes.
Super Bowl contention. That's out the window. Let's get that out the way. It's over. If the reports are confirmed and he's going to be out for the season with an Achilles injury, would they still have an opportunity to make the playoffs? I think that's a huge question mark, too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they were knocking at the door. One would like to believe that the influence, Shannon, that Aaron Rodgers potentially may have had on a guy like Zach Wilson, being in that quarterback room, being with him over the last few months, trying to school him, tutor him, not to mention the fact that I don't believe that Aaron Rodgers, if he's injured, is never going to show up at practice, never going to show up in the locker room, is not going to be that guy in Zach Wilson's ear to really help him improve upon what we saw last year. Right. So I would say because of how elite their defense is and the combination of Hall and Dalvin Cook there with a Garrett Wilson along with an experienced guy like Lazard and Cobb, this is not the Jets of last year. Offensively, even without Aaron Rodgers, they'll still be better than they were last year. So I think they'd have a chance to make the playoffs, but the AFC is considerably tougher than what it once was. So I would say definitely their Super Bowl hopes for this season are over. As it pertains to their playoff aspirations, it's shaky. It's not a foregone conclusion that it's over, but it's very, very up in the air right now. That's where I would be, but that's how devastating this is. And remember, they lost Testaverde.
1999, second quarter.
1999, that's right. Lost Chad Pennington years ago as well. And now this. So naturally, the Jets fans that I know, we're cursed, we're cursed, we're cursed. That's all they keep saying. And this morning, I really don't blame them for feeling that way.
And it's so, I don't know how would you explain it or describe it, is that but Vinny Testaverde was on the field for the coin toss.
Wow. Yes, he was.
And so this is, look, there's a lot been going on, and they're talking about the offensive line. This was a 3-step drop. Yeah. The tackles are taught to cut, to get Leonard Floyd's hands down. So Rodgers on the 3rd step, that back foot hit, he has to let the ball go or throw it away. Because in the process of Dwayne Brown cutting, okay, he gets Leonard Floyd's hands down, Leonard Floyd gets up, Aaron Rodgers holds on to the ball. That's what caused it. That was not the offensive line's fault. That was on Aaron. He has to let that ball go. 3 steps, he looks to his right, you can't come back because the guy's done gotten up off the turf. Right. And he's going to get you. Right. And that's what happens. But why are we surprised that older quarterbacks get hurt? Look at what happened to Peyton Manning. 2014, what did he do? He tore his quad. Look at Drew Brees. What did he have? Rotator cuff, plantar fasciitis. In 2015, Peyton Manning, plantar fasciitis. Brett Favre. Old people get hurt. Not football players, old people in life get hurt. So I don't think we should be surprised, although we're hurt and saddened, not only for Aaron Rodgers, but for the team and for the Jets fans. This is, I mean, people make it seem like, well, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm surprised that it happened 4 plays into his career with the Jets. But we shouldn't be surprised older quarterbacks get hurt when they get hit.
What about being surprised at, like you said, what you just broke down in terms of this is not the offensive line? Everybody been looking because they saw Hard Knocks. They saw Aaron Rodgers and Coach Saleh complaining about the offensive line. The assumption was the offensive line allowed this person to get to Leonard Floyd to get to Aaron Rodgers. But what you just broke down, you're saying it's him. How surprised should we be that Aaron Rodgers committed that kind of mistake that ultimately led to this injury?
Well, I think the thing is that anytime a quarterback gets sacked, we automatically assume it's on the offensive line because their job is to protect the quarterback, and if the quarterback get hit, we blame the offensive line. But in this situation, that's a 3-step drop. If you go back and you watch the replay, Dwayne Brown chops because he's doing everything he can to make sure Leonard Floyd doesn't jump up and bat the ball down. See, this ball's supposed to go. You can't pat it on a 3-step drop. Because Leonard Floyd done gotten up off the ground, even if he was on the ground, all Dwayne Brown has to do is to try to make Leonard Floyd put his hands down so he doesn't jump up and bat the ball down. That's what they're doing on both sides. Once he passes this ball and tries to go backside on the 3-step, bad things are going to happen. You look front side with it. If it's not there, you throw it away backside. And he didn't do that. But also, Stephen, you got to understand now, last year they won 7 games, right?
Yeah.
They beat 5 backup quarterbacks in those 7 wins.
That's right.
Or you think, what's the likelihood of they're going to get another situation where they're playing the backups?
That's true.
So, and I'm not going to take anything away from the defense because the defense played outstanding last night. The best player on the field for the Jets was Josh Allen. As great as Zach Wilson played, and he played well after he made that one mistake, the best player for the Jets was Josh Allen. And this has been a reoccurring theme over the last half of last season and coming into this season.
Can I just say one thing before we get into it? Because we're going to dive into all the angles.
Okay.
I just want to pause. Obviously, he's the oldest active player, Aaron Rodgers at 39. I understand your sentiment. I understand age and all of it. Shannon, this is still shocking and devastating.
Yes.
This was the story of the offseason. We were so excited to see this resurgence of the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers pulling the Peyton Manning, the Tom Brady. I mean, that this is just potentially over. It's crushing.
Well,
I turned on the game. I'm like, this can't be real. This isn't actually happening.
4 plays in. Yeah.
I think the suddenness is what's so shocking. If this happened the 5th, 6th, 7th game of the season, are we surprised?
No.
Because he's an older quarterback. Look at Peyton. Look at Drew Brees. Because what happened is Tom Brady is an anomaly. Because he played 23 seasons, and with the exception of that ACL that he tore in 2008, he was
and that was off a hit while he was throwing.
Right.
Well, it's a gut punch for Jets fans, and it's a gut punch for the people in that building, but it also represents an opportunity for Zach Wilson. This is a guy that most people thought that had his opportunity, his career mortality as a starter has passed him by, but now he's been presented a chance with a really strong supporting cast in one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the National Football League, to back him up. So remains to be seen on what he can end up doing, what the season can end up being, but I don't think this is a situation where the Jets should punt on the season because Aaron Rodgers went down. Look at last year. Even with subpar quarterback play, this is a team that started 7-4 before losing 6 straight. If Aaron Rodgers could have imparted any wisdom on Zach between OTAs, minicamp, training camp, maybe we can see growth and evolution in Zach Wilson. If he can give this team competent quarterback play, there's no reason why they can't be in the playoff mix come December.
Quick for you. At 9:42 a.m. this morning, 18 minutes before this show, Tom Brady posted a video on Twitter in the lab, just trying to keep up with the kids these days playing basketball. Just want to throw that out. Y'all can continue. Just thought you would appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thought you would appreciate it.
If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
But at 46 years old, no, come on now.
I agree.
Come on now. Come on now.
Brought it up. I'm just saying.
I agree, but here's the thing. The way they ran the football with Breece Hall last night and Dalvin Cook, they should rely a little bit more heavily on the run. I know it's the league is set up for you to throw the ball all over the field. They devalued the running back. But when your quarterback, eventually your quarterback's going to have to play. It's not like when you and I was in the league early on, you could hide your quarterback. You brought your defense, you brought your run game, and you minimize his play. They're not going to let your quarterback be a cheerleader. They're going to make him be a participant. So at some point in time, the number 2 pick in the draft, I think that's what Zach Wilson was.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Number 2 overall. He's going to have to show why I was the number 2 pick overall in this draft in order for them to be and to go where you believe they can.
No doubt. And the pick that he threw to Matt Milano, that's something that can't happen.
Oh,
The guy's sitting there in the middle of the zone coverage, eyes on the quarterback. You can't stare down the receiver. You can't make love with your eyes to the receiver and expect that you're going to get away with making that throw in the NFL. But he did have a couple of big-time throws. He had a 20-yard completion to Allen Lazard.
Yes.
He had a couple of big-time throws to Garrett Wilson. And that touchdown catch by Garrett Wilson, let me tell you something. Just throw it in the general vicinity of that dude when he's got one-on-one coverage, and good things are going to be happening. And here's the thing. They're going to have a lot of one-on-one coverage because opposing defenses are going to stack the box 7, 8, maybe 9-man fronts to keep Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook from going off. Those are the situations that Zach Wilson has to take advantage of. Yeah. And what I want to see moving forward is, has he grown enough as a quarterback where he can consistently do that? If he has, then the Jets will absolutely be in the mix for a playoff spot.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.